Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Voices on Fire. We are super excited to be back. I know it's been a while, but we're here and our setup is a little bit different, which will explain why. My name is Maria.
And my name is Carmen, and today we have our two very lovely special guests with us.
Hello, I'm Angelica.
And I'm Alyssa.
Yay! Thank you guys for being here today. As you can see, normally we just have audio, but today, due to the very saddening pandemic that is going on, we are all under it's not house arrest.
Shelter in place.
Quarantine.
Shelter in place. Shelter self quarantining. So shelter in place. So we're all in our very own the comfort of our homes. We're taking precautions. We are here and we just wanted to do a little podcast. We thought it was time to come back, and what better time than now so that we could shelter some, I don't know, words of encouragement or just create dialogue. How have you guys been? Is it still shutting off? I think it's still shutting off for Carmen.
No,
So we might have some technical difficulties. And then we just say, wait, our conversation's
there we go.
Oh, I'm like, what's happening?
All right, yeah, we had to come back and resume, but continue on.
Wait, had it been on pause?
Yeah, this is like 1 second, I think.
Yeah, the connection was just weird.
Oh, man, I don't know how this podcast is going to be, but
it will turn out amazing with the help of the Lord.
As always. Where do I start from? Well, we were just saying, it was just me, Carmen, Alyssa, and Angelica. We were talking, and then we started talking about our confirmation classes, how things have been infected, and then I said, wait, this conversation is great for another episode of Voices on Fire. So we got on record, and now we're doing another episode. But yeah, we're talking about how, well, who was the one that was saying how it just kind of came not at a perfect timing, because I don't think any of us wanted it to happen, but luckily we were almost done with our programs with confirmation and school in general, so it hasn't been too bad since we only have a couple classes to go. But it's kind of sad because we might not ever see our confirmation kids again until confirmation, the day of the confirmation, and they're getting confirmed in May, and I didn't say bye. None of us did. It's so sad. It's so sad. I keep saying one of my sisters, she's graduating this year from high school. Alyssa's brother is too. So it's sad that I don't know. Everything is just kind of hanging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely weird. I was mentioning that, curriculum wise, we have most of the things done, but we're going to be having interviews and stuff like that, which doesn't require a session necessarily, or a Monday a Sunday or Wednesday class, but that God just planned it perfect, I guess, sort of, in the best way that I could, because nobody foresaw these circumstances coming, but the fact that we've all been with our classes for almost 2 years, and then just right at the end, yes, it's sad, but then we have to think about also the time that we were given with them before all of this happened. So but it's definitely still a weird time, like you said, we didn't say goodbye, and it is weird to have the youth points are still due, and how do we go to mass, things are virtual, and then they're asking questions about the bishop, if we're going to be having our confirmation ceremony on time, or there's just a lot of uncertainty, but it's God's plan, and whatever happens will happen. But yeah. I think your phone buzzed or something.
Yeah, that was mine. Sorry.
Well, I was yeah, I don't think that this was in God's plan. I think obviously God doesn't want anything bad to ever happen to us, but I think I was having a conversation with my mom, and she kind of mentioned imagine how bad were things, how bad did God say like that everyone was just kind of in like their situations. Well, okay, let me start all over because it's not making sense. But like how distant must have families been, and like everyone just like on their own like mentality, like I gotta do this for myself kind of thing. For God to say like, let me actually like let this happen. People need to be at home with their families. Like how separated were families that God is like, nope, y'all need some time to be with your families and y'all need to bond. And I'm like, and it like she said it better, but it did get me to think like, dang, it's true. Because it's like I think at least personally for me, or like all of like on social media, everyone was like 2020, that's the year, so much growth, so much thing, like, and it was kind of like my mentality for like growth. But I don't know if like were like if they had envisioned like their families, like, or if any of those things were in their thoughts. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely got like that sense of like it's like just me and let me just kind of focus on my thing. And like obviously God doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to be like the family thing. And I was like, dang, we had to be like snapped back into a reality. It was reality check. What's that TikTok thing?
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
kind of I get what you're like. I understand like what you're trying, like what you're saying, and it's like in a way, it's like we were all thinking like, oh, 2020 is a year of this, or we're gonna do accomplish this and have this. So I feel like I also thought of it like Alyssa, like the next day after all this whole quarantine thing happened, she was like, I was thinking about it all negatively. I was like, oh no, I would be stuck in my house. I would become like mental or something. And then Alyssa over here was just like, no, you gotta think of the positive. Maybe God, this is His way of saying like, you know what, world, you need to step back and focus on you, and like not even focus just like you, but like focus you and him, because like
mm-hmm.
we're still in a time of Lent, and Lent is to focus on your relationship with him. And so maybe we didn't need the noise of the outside world or people, we just needed to focus on ourselves and on him. So that's what like Alyssa brought into my mind, because it was not crossing my mind at that time.
Yeah, and what I was the other day, I was telling Karina, um, because we were just talking about this too, and then we were like just kind of talking about how sometimes I guess God allows things to happen so we could kind of snap out of whatever it is. And then I've been noticing a lot on social media. I've had a lot of friends that are from like high school or before, and to a point I know that they are Catholic, but then they're the people that kind of just will go Ash Wednesday or for Christmas to church or stuff like that. And then I've been noticing that a lot of people that are like that, they've been posting more, like saying like kind of like praying to God and like kind of like, or even like watching mass. Like I'm over here on live on mass, and then I see their little name pop up. I'm like, oh my gosh, who knows since when they've gone to mass, or who knows since when they've even prayed or anything. And I'm like, this is probably like bringing back a lot of people, or having them think again about, I don't know, just their life type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's like I think that's why like when I was having that conversation like with my mom, like her comment, it like really like snapped me back, because I was also like I think it was day one of like the official quarantine, and I think that was just the hardest day for me because I was like I was listening at that point. It was like Monday of last week, and I was like getting all these news reports, and everyone was on social media like reposting. Everything was like coronavirus, coronavirus, and I was just like getting overwhelmed. So I was like, oh my god! Like one of my characteristics is that I like to like look into the future, and I'm a planner and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my god, we're getting married this year, like what's gonna happen with the day? And then I'm like everything, like what's gonna happen, like is it really gonna be just 2 weeks? Like not that I need to know or that it makes a difference, but like it brings up anxiety out of me and stuff like that. So I was just saying like again like at all the negative things of what this quarantine was gonna like do. But then like when my mom mentioned that, I was like, oh my god, it's so true. Like if I look at like reflecting like into my own plans, I was like, oh, this is the year you're gonna do all these things. And then I was making so many plans, but it's like obviously God had plans for me. And now I'm very thankful because it's like I was mentioning it on a meeting that we had on Sunday, how like this a positive, it's hard to just see the negative, but like when you start thinking of the positive, like personally for me, like during this whole last week of quarantine, I was able to have like all my sisters here in the house, and like we were able to have like family dinners, which it's sad to say, but like we don't do so much as often. So it's been good. Like I've also said, like even though it doesn't really affect me, but I'd say how like my sisters are all very hardworking and they are very good students, unlike me. They're all very good students, and then like my youngest sister, she's a senior, and then another one who's like a junior right now in college. I see how much they had to like how stressed they could get because of the schoolwork. So it was nice just to see them have like at least that week where they got to like kind of in a way relax and have that week of a break before like this week started again. But like just to have that break, because I know that they very much needed it, especially the little one, because she has like so many activities. I think at first when they asked us a question, what was a good thing, I was like, a good thing, there's nothing. But then like, actually like reflecting, then I was like, oh, actually it was good seeing my sisters be able to like have that moment of relaxation and stuff like that.
Mhm.
For sure. Yeah, I was just trying to go back and find this one post that like resonated with me that somebody posted. So I'll just paraphrase it because I cannot find it, but it just basically says, like we might be going without, seeing people like physically and doing all these different types of things that we're used to, like, our daily routine and all of that. But um like what is actually happening, so like more like you mentioned too, like families are coming back together, they're reconciling, they're you don't have time for anything else, there's like social media or God. And so it's like I spend my day, this is technically social media, like on the phone with you guys, and like something like this is a huge blessing, like having this outlet. Whereas like I asked my grandma, her perspective, and like she's like 84 or something, and she hasn't lived through a time like this yet until now. And so I asked her, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to, like, I was just playing around with her, and I was like, what am I supposed to do for 3 months? And she goes, well, you can listen to the radio. And I'm like, oh my God, no. But it's like it puts it into perspective how thankful we are to have things like this where we can still see people, not just have to like write a letter and hope that it gets there in 2 weeks or something, like we get to see people and still interact. And I feel like yes, there's terrible things that are going on, people are losing family members, but then also like we said, families are coming back together. There's going to be less stress because there's not going to be hopefully as much schoolwork and things like that versus like when you're actually in school. But then also like taking the time to pray for those people too, because like Lupita mentioned, like we're all like, her and I have siblings that are seniors, and like you guys all too, if you're in confirmation, you were going to be confirmed, and Lupita has her wedding, and Angelica had her work, and like we all have our things that we're like refocusing and like having to recenter ourselves this Lent, which I think we all sort of wanted but didn't know that it would take to this extreme effect that we needed it, and so even though we're like still in like barely week 2 and like we're still somewhat sane and we still like see each other, it's like it is gradual, and maybe it will affect us more down like a couple months now from now or whatever. But I feel like right now it's definitely like, I don't know, it's definitely a roller coaster still too, like don't get me wrong, because I feel like it would be unnatural if you didn't have emotional days, if you weren't a little bit anxious, if you weren't a little bit like, too happy or too sad or whatever. Like you're gonna be stuck in your house for like however long, like you're gonna have all of those emotions come up. So that's something that I've noticed within my family too. So it's like just keeping that routine and like, I don't know, trying to keep things normal as they can. But it's a different type of Lent. We're definitely in the desert this year for sure.
Mhm.
I feel like this is also like a good time to like we're getting back into like a different type of routine or like creating a new habit. like how you're saying like, oh, we're doing like family dinners now, or like we have family time. Like I feel like it's a good time to bond with your family, and also like work on yourself. How like we all said, oh, we want to do this or we want to accomplish this. Like taking this time to create new habits is like a good thing. Like I know like I wanted to start journaling, but back at school, like with all the homework, and then like going out, like sometimes going out late for certain things, like, oh, I need to go to store for XYZ, or going to work, and then volunteering hours in class, like you don't have time to create new habits. So like something that I have like started doing during quarantine, which a little bit was started journaling. So I purchased this like My Catholic journal, not promoting, but it's on Amazon if you guys want it. And it's like, it's so nice. Like it comes with like, let me show you guys. It comes with like a little like it makes you like read the Bible. So it says like, what Bible verse did you come across to today? It makes you like reflect like, oh, what is God trying to tell you on this like Bible verse? Like what do you think you need to grow on? And then also like at night it has like a section where you can like reflect on like, what did you do today? Obviously like maybe you didn't go outside, but like what did you do with your family? Like what's something that you need to like work on, or what did you do good? Like you can always write down. So like taking this time to create new habits is also very nice to do.
For sure, and I think something that's like going to come out from like this whole situation is a lot of gratitude. Like I know we take a lot of things for granted, and right now, like that we aren't able to like especially go out and socialize, or like even amongst families, if you see someone that's sick and you're taking your precautions, then it's like you know that even though you love them, then you'll like have to distance yourself. So it's like um many times it's like hugs, we take them for granted, and now it's like what you would do to give a hug to someone, like if you don't live with your parents. And it's like what I would do to like go hug my parents, or like seeing, we get used to seeing people on a day-to-day basis, and like all of these like random small acts. But like now, like that we can't leave, like yes, you could go out to the store and stuff like that, but you don't have like the ability to just leave like whenever you want to, or like be within nature and stuff like that. Then
Mhm.
you're like, dang, it's like um you'll for sure be more grateful. But I think even to like in regards to our church, it's like we've, at least I always grew up like having a church like accessible, and luckily it's always been like super close to where I've lived. And like now that like for the first time we've had one Sunday so far without like being able to attend mass physically, then it's like um being like, we obviously watched our mass live, but just being there and like as we were doing our spiritual communion, even though it's spiritually like, it was so sad to like have to do the prayer, and then say like, even though I can't physically like receive you, I receive you with my heart. Like I got choked up. I was like crying. My mom was hecka crying. She was doing the prayer for us at first, and then she couldn't even finish it because she was crying. But I'm like, dang, that's like having that love, because you know who you're genuinely like receiving, and like it makes you like admire that. But I'm like, dang, like, and other we're so it's something that I always tell like my confirmation kids, like more our year ones than our year twos, just because they haven't developed that yet. But it's like they don't realize that we're here, at least in the US, we're able to like attend mass regularly. We're able to have so many like resources. People are still getting persecuted, they're getting killed for attending mass, like they're getting bombed and stuff like that. So it's like this definitely puts a new perspective, and I think that's also like in part as to like why God's allowing it, because it's like there's so many people leaving the church. So I think this will definitely start bringing people back to like their faith. At least maybe they're not ready because they've been hurt like by the church in general, but at least with their faith, with building that connection, like again we are in Lent, so it's building that relationship with God. That's something that's going to come out of it. And if we had to pay this price in order to get it, then good, because it just means that we'll be ready for when it's our time our time to go. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's been one of the main things. And I mentioned like on our group chats too, and I've told people, separately that like we really do like take it for granted. It doesn't have to be necessarily the people who don't come to church regularly, because we do too. It affects us just as much, if not maybe more, that we can't go there, and like I won't cry right now, but I was already like tearing up when you said what you did. But yeah, it definitely has just like, I thought I was grateful before, to have like this community, and it's like, whew, no, like now it's like totally different, so it's putting everything back into perspective. So that is a gift too, even though it's rough, it has been really good.
I think like for us, since we're part of our 1313, like our family, like our church, I love the community that we have, like just all of our friendships, all of our friends, and we're so used to seeing each other like on Wednesdays for after confirmation, on Fridays for our youth group, Sundays for our other confirmations, our mass, and just like even if during the week we have something scheduled, we're always seeing each other. So like I was sharing with these gals that like on what was it, almost 2 weeks ago on a Friday, Carmen and I went to the stores, and that day we had scheduled like a meeting. We had scheduled a meeting for 1313, which is all the leaders for the head of our youth ministries. But like that's when everyone went into like like shutting mode, like no mass gather, no unnecessary gatherings are allowed.
Mhm.
And I was so saddened because it's like in my mind I like dropped off Carmen and I was like, see you later, Carmen. And I was
Yeah.
excited because we were gonna see like everyone we were supposed to meet, and then we said, oh well, we can't meet Friday, so we'll meet Saturday. And then we got like a no-go for Saturday, so I was like, okay. And then we saw Sunday, and then like that Saturday, it's when it was starting to kick in that things are starting to get serious, and I was like, maybe we'll see them tomorrow. And it was like, mass is canceled, and then they were like, no. And it's like, okay, mass is not canceled, but only 100 people can attend mass at a time. So I knew like that no one was gonna be, we weren't gonna see each other again because everyone was attending mass at different times. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then it wasn't until like it was Carmen's birthday, and we threw her a little Zoom party like this, where we saw everyone, and it was a good amount of us. And I think it was the first time that I was like, that we're, I definitely like, I've taken our friendships for granted, or like being able to see you guys, where I was like, I'm so excited to hop onto Carmen's virtual party because we're gonna be there, and everyone was just so happy. It's like we had all been in social isolation, and even though I had my sisters, like my family, it was very different than like seeing everyone there. And it was like, I think everyone was just so happy. We're like, oh my god, we haven't seen you. Oh,
For sure. Yeah. That weekend that you were referring to, that was like the most intense weekend ever, because it was like Friday had like one announcement, then Saturday, then Sunday, then the next week was canceled. And then like there was like the loud iPhone alerts that go out and whatever. I'm like, I don't know like what's happening, but like we need to go to the grocery store.
this is
But,
so
like,
dramatic. Like
crazy.
we kind of already knew that quarantine was gonna happen, and we knew it was bound to happen, but then like to have it like, it was gloomy too, the weather, everything. And then like the Amber Alerts went, and then like again another one, and then it was like, oh my gosh, this feels like
Mhm.
a French movie about to start. Like it
Yeah,
just, it's
seriously.
so dramatic. Like there's so many scary thoughts that go into it. Like people could be crazy, and like luckily like where we live, it hasn't been as bad. But like I saw that yesterday at night, I was scrolling through Facebook, and someone shared a Facebook live how, I think it was in Venezuela, they're like started like doing self quarantine, and people just, oh, I think they froze. Oh, there you go. People just broke into, like, I think it was like, I don't know if it was a Walmart, but it looked like a Walmart. They just, a bunch of people just broke in, like they broke the glass like windows, and they were just running out with like mattresses. Two
Oh
people were
my
carrying
gosh.
mattresses. They were carrying tires, everything, and like the store was getting emptied out. They had like cashiers with little ATMs, and they broke into it. Like it was crazy, and I was like, dang, thank goodness this isn't happening like where we're at. And like we're pretty like, I think California is taking it like much more serious than like others started taking more actions as compared to others. Definitely grateful for our governor, which at some point it did seem like it was taking
I'll be back.
or at some point it did seem like I think he might appear on our recording.
there.
We'll see if it
They know
does.
that I always have to pee. I always have to pee. I'll be that guy.
This
We're
just shows it was like our real life conversation, and then we just started pressing record
yeah.
because if this ain't the real us, then what?
Yep.
True. Oh, so yeah, I was like
Yeah,
at first, like it seemed like he was doing too much, but then like seeing how other states were still like at the beach and doing all those things, I was like, thank goodness for Governor Newsom.
for
Really
sure. Yeah, I
supportive.
started taking it seriously. Like, I'm a Disney girl, if you guys don't know me. And when they're like, oh, they're gonna close down not even just like California Disneyland, but like all the Disneys in every country, all of the cruises, the island, like the everything, I was like, okay, like we're dealing with something like a little bit bigger than we're used to. So like that was weird. And then I remember like I was at work, so this will just be like I guess sort of like a diary a Zoom. But like I was at work, like I think it was the day before this all happened. So it must have been like wait, what was the date? Let's see. Let's get these facts, ladies. Okay. It was Thursday the 12th, I think. Okay, so let's just say it was like around there. And I was at work and my mom texted me and I didn't think it was like we didn't think anything was true, right? And she said like the governor says we're going to be in a state of emergency, and I'm thinking like yeah, okay, like what's that really going to do, like is something actually going to happen? And I'm still like taking the precautions at work because I work at a school, and so I'm sanitizing everything, and the parents come in, the teachers come in to pick up their kids and all those things. And I mean, the kids were like asking us and they're like joking around about it. They're like, oh, you can't cough, you've got corona or whatever. I'm like, okay, like there was no facts about it. And yeah, Angelica. But like there was no facts about it. We weren't like educated about it until like things started to like really happen on that Friday. But like I'll never forget that Friday. I was like, oh God, like what is gonna happen? And then the fact that they said like stay home, only leave when necessary, and then basically like you were gonna just be like staying inside, but you could go outside, right? Like you could like go on a walk or do whatever. And then they ended up like it was raining, like you said, it was gloomy. So then it's like I can't really go outside. So like the first weekend was like kind of hard because we really were just like inside, and I was like, oh shoot, like I can't do 30 days of this. So it was just interesting. And then they finally put like the shelter in place that Tuesday or something. So just been a crazy roller coaster. But
Oh
what
no,
about
yes, it definitely was a roller coaster. On that Thursday, I was coming back home and I was like, luckily, I was like, oh, I got someone to cover my shift on like Friday, or I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I was like, okay, someone got it. Mom, come on, like I want to go home. And then she's like, why you want to go home? And I was just like, I get to see my church fam tomorrow. And then she's like, okay. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna text mom. Okay, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna see everyone because like I don't get to see everyone during the week. So like during the weekend, I'm like, I want to see everybody. And then I come home, and then Friday morning, they're just like, everything's canceled, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, because we were supposed to get together for CTK, and then we were gonna have our like practice, and then that was gonna lead into like live team. So we really had like a whole like 5 hours planned. And like that's a typical Friday for us. Like we just
Yeah.
love hanging out, being at the church together, and so like to have all of that be like, nope, your schedule's gonna be clear for like ever, was just like I know like I was saying like I was texting Angelica and she woke up and then she's like, oh my gosh, I woke up and everything's canceled.
I literally woke up from from sleeping, and because I normally go to sleep really late, so I wake up really late, and all my messages like on CTK chat with Mama K and this other chat, they were all like, everything's canceled, gone, bye, no postpone, no this. I was just like, it was like my whole life is basically like, oh, yeah.
Exactly. Our only hope was that, Angelica and I got together that Sunday. So we still waited like 2 days. And then we recorded our year two confirmation session or whatever. So we recorded that session, and she was like the last outside person I saw. Other than my family was Angelica and actually Gabby too. And then I got to hug Carla in the parking lot, which was awesome. But those are like my last people. And then, but yeah, and then like Lupita, you were saying too, like you dropped off Carmen thinking that you were going to see her later just because that's how we spend every single weekend. And then to have all of this stuff come up is just like crazy.
Yeah, cause that like Friday, like Carmen and I, like we went to like the mall and like we were looking at well, we went to a specific store looking for like the guys' tuxes and stuff like that. So we were like still like going with our day. We're like, yeah, it's not that serious. Like obviously like we saw like how it was horrible, but I think the situation wasn't even that bad in Italy yet. And so we're like, I think it's just like a matter of fact of taking care of yourself and taking like making sure that your immune system is like high and so it was just like that's where we're like, why are they canceling all these things? Like it's not that big of a deal. And we were just shopping and there's still like not that many people at the store, which we should have, but we're like, we're fine. So like we were happy, and then like to be like, yeah, we'll see you later, and we were excited for the meeting and everything because we
Mhm.
were gonna plan so many things, and for that to be taken away, I think that was just like it was hard. I was like,
And then our retreat, I was all like, it was so sad because when it was like around 7 on when was it, last Friday, I'm like, we would have like been there or on our way or something. And then on Saturday when we woke up, I was telling my brother, I'm like, Luis, we would have been there. We would have finished breakfast already. Probably the first talk would have happened. I was like, it's so sad.
yeah, I think that's what was sad, like seeing like all the messages because obviously immediately when we knew that mass was canceled on Saturday. Well, when we thought we were already texting our teens and we were posting on like social media, like to let them know that they were like there was gonna be no mass. So just to see like all the messages, like is retreat gonna be postponed? Is it canceled? All these questions, I think it made it like even more dramatic, even more like, oh my gosh, this is actually like happening happening. And then during the week I got a Snapchat notification like, oh, 2 years ago, or this you were coming back from this
Yes.
retreat, and I was like, our retreat is
No, yeah, that day I got my memory. It was like, oh, look at the memory. And it was like Isabel singing like Catholic party. And I was like, ah.
Yes. I had the same one and I was going to post it and I think I am tomorrow. But yeah, I just seeing all of that, I was like, we're reminiscent and all of our retreats are always the same month, like we go like routinely up to this one place. And I was so excited because like you girls know too, like my other trip got canceled, because of everything going on. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, like, yay, we'll get to go on retreat. Then no, I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then we also had like an Easter trip planned as well. I'm like, well, that's not happening either. So and just like, it just really goes to show that no matter how much we plan, like God laughs with us, like he will just like, he's like, no, you got a plan. I have a plan, and it's just like, it's hard to sometimes take the back seat because, like 2020, we all had this clear vision and then here we go, it's like we were not prepared. But now, and I feel like, just living in California, we all should have been prepared because of like earthquakes and stuff. Like we should have had all of this stuff to begin with instead of everybody like crawling around and like going crazy stealing stuff from like grocery stores and mattresses and whatever. But wait, what did you say?
like the toilet paper running out. Like the
Yeah,
heck?
like all of these things, like, and the water and everything. Like, if we live in California, like, we should have been at least a little bit more prepared, but that didn't happen. But yeah, it's interesting what's going on. So,
Mhm.
For sure. So I think for us, at least personally for me, this week has been like going a lot better. I've been seeing the light and starting to see like try to look at each day like more positively, like instead of thinking like, oh, I'm stuck at home, I'm thinking like, thank you, Jesus, because my family is still has great health, and so far none of our family members have been affected from it. So like we've been finding things to do. But in case that if you're struggling at home or you're a huge extrovert and you're having trouble because you're being isolated, we have like we thought we could do a couple of little tips of what you could do at home. So Angelica mentioned that she's been doing her devotional, like her journal. That's one thing. If you I mean, we might put the link down there. Like, if you need something to do, we can't guarantee that it'll arrive fast because if it's not an essential. But that's one thing. Um, other what are other things that they could do? Oh, you could deep clean your room, but this is week 2, so you might have already done so.
Or you could deep clean a sibling's room. Like yesterday, I started cleaning my brother's room because their room was like a mess and you couldn't even walk anymore. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I don't have anything to do, so I started cleaning their room. So
Yeah, and I think like in these times it's fine. Like normally, I think everyone was already like in such a fast pace. Like I'm tired. I just wish like it's Monday, it's Sunday. I just wish it's Sunday, like so that I could be at home, relax. Like actually, I think this is like God saying like you have that time. Take that time to like relax. Like it's not.
mhm,
It's better to like I think this is the time where you're okay if you're just watching shows. Like obviously get up for like 30 minutes. Don't be eating too much junk food because that's not for your immune system. But like also if you're just stressing out about things, that's gonna lower your immune system as well, which is gonna do you no
mhm,
good. So if you've been having some shows that you want to catch up on or like watch, then go on. We encourage you to like take that
mhm,
time, like bond over that with your family. Maybe watch a saint movie. Maybe read the Saint Faustina diaries. Maybe watch the Passion of Christ. Like try to think of like ways where you could still live this Lent purposely, and like try to include like before you said I don't have time to pray because my schedule is so busy. Then now you have plenty of time to pray. Choose an hour, pray it. Begin praying a rosary. Begin try the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Like seriously, there's audios with that only take like 8 minutes, 8 minutes, and it's the Divine Mercy Chaplet has such great power, and there's so many promises for those who pray it. So those are just like a couple of things. I don't know if you guys want to mention others.
I don't know. I think just like having a schedule, even if like some days, so like I know like myself and my mom, like we're like most of the planners, I guess like for our days, because in my house is myself, my mom, my aunt, my brother, and my grandma. So my aunt has like still her regular work day at home. So like we just sort of count her out, you know, like, and then we incorporate her into our plans like when she would normally get home. And then same thing for my brother as well, because you know he has his online high school now. um, so then my mom and I just sort of like plan out each week, and I think it's hopeful to plan like in weeks. So like for this week for us, for example, like we're gonna be working on our hallway, and because like we have hallway closets, and then like my room's down the hallway, so like sectioning off like parts of the house to clean, I guess, has been helpful and hopeful, because then it like spaces things out. You don't like move too quickly on stuff. So we've been like, okay, we're gonna do these things, and then if you don't finish it, then it's like, okay, you got the 3 weeks ahead of you. So like you have the time to do it coming up. So we've just been taking it easy. And then I think like having conversations with your family as things come up, like it's hard to plan um, or like schedule in a meaningful conversation. But like when things come up, you have the time now to be like, okay, well, why is this affecting you? Or like if my mom had a rough day, or if my brother had a rough day, like missing his friends, or if I wanted to come on here, you know, and just see faces, then, you know, it's like you can plan out those things, but also just like being spontaneous and being okay with, you know, having things come up, or taking a phone call from a friend. Like we have the time now that God's given us to actually take advantage of that. So I think just spacing things out, being okay, and like going with the flow of things. Cooking different recipes and stuff has been delicious and yummy. And then also I saw something that said like live on the edge a little and like cook without a recipe. So I don't know if that's something that you guys want to do, but it's like, okay, bless my soul if I could bake a cake without knowing the recipe. But
I hope it's not raw.
no, I know. But yeah, so there's lots of different things online, but then just like also like look around. Maybe like I know for my room specifically, like I think like, oh, like I just live in this place that like you might not be able to see the things that are around you, but if you actually like a cleaning tip, if you like take your phone and you take a picture of like your space, then you'll be able to look at it on your phone and it looks a whole lot different and you'll be able to see things that you want to change and you have the time for now. But yeah, then spend time with your pets. I've been spending time with my pets in prayer, just like catching up. And what else? There's lots of other stuff to do that we all wish we had the time for usually. And yeah, but also be safe. You know, when you go out, when you're around other people, take the precautions because, you know, it's out there and it's weird to think about something like, you know, any one of us four could have it and not know, you know, and it's like it's weird. And then like there's just so much uncertainty and it doesn't matter your age or your health or your gender, your race, whatever, like anybody can get it. And to just, you know, spread positivity throughout your day because there is a lot of other things that are like being posted and that's pretty much all we're looking at all day long, whether we like to or not. We open our feed and there's something. So yeah, just being positive. And if you see somebody online that needs help or, you know, maybe you know that they are more lonely when you're with them at school or something, maybe call them first or like reach out to them on Instagram or whatever, and that could really impact their day. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. What do you call? I haven't been planning. I'm not much of like planning a week. I plan a day ahead. That's how I work. Usually because like I'm kind of spontaneous in a way. Like stuff pops up, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
do this. But like some things like I've been doing is like I have homeschool, so I'm still doing college at school at home now online, and so now what I do is like I have the free time, like aside from homework, to like do other things. So what I've been doing is I compiled a list of things I want to do that I haven't done yet. So like I think like usually schedule in like my day what I want to do because since I cleaned my room, I found all this stuff that I'm like, oh, I can use this. So like certain things that like I have on my list that maybe you guys can do with like your guys' family because like just like Alyssa, I have 5 people in my house as well. So there's a lot of us. I'm planning to do like a little stress ball paint, like you fill the balloon with paint and throw darts at it, stress release. Maybe take time to like paint. I know the other day, like me and my sister, we went out and we painted like the sky or whatever we wanted to paint. I'm
Oh,
not an artist, but
yeah.
it was really it was nice to paint something. I know like how Alyssa mentioned like cooking. Maybe you can do some cooking. Maybe like I know for one of my classes, my teachers make like telling us like, oh, record yourself doing like one thing that you never did, like your day. So like she said like maybe do dances. Maybe you want to learn how like a new song on the guitar or on an instrument or you want to dance. Or for some people it's like TikTok. You maybe want to do a TikTok. So like different little activities. Like it's nice to like take in consideration like if you have siblings or like your family members, those are times to like be with them and also like have times for yourself, like reflection on yourself and like what do I need to be okay during these 3 weeks? Because I bet you if you step away 1 minute from like all the news about this corona, it will be there when you come back. You can step away, do something fun, forget about it for a little bit, not too much, don't spot like take yourself, be safe, but like it will still be there when you come back. You need that little distraction in your life. I know I do, because if I just sit there and listen to like, oh, corona this or the government said this, the governor said this, I'm just like, I think I'm gonna go crazy. So like incorporating something that like helps you stay sane is okay. Like you don't need to have all day for yourself, but like that little like 30 minutes, an hour is nice too.
Yeah, even going outside, looking at the sun, looking at the sky, looking up. I mean, I feel like at first when it all started happening, I guess I don't know, like you since it was gloomy and everything, I would just stay inside and I started going crazy. I'm like, I can't do that. I need to go outside. And so good thing like for my job, we've been making videos for the kids. So even though it's been like cold and stuff, I go outside, I take all my supplies and I sit outside on the table and I start recording myself, like doing the art or the craft or whatever. But I guess those like at least 30 minutes or some or even 5 minutes outside, getting that fresh air helps a lot. And also like in the morning when you wake up, getting ready, like sure, I have braids today, but instead of having like a weird bun that I woke up with, I did braids, wash your face, brush your teeth, because obviously if we're home all day, you're gonna feel you just want to like lay on your bed and not leave it. And so I feel like we also need to remember that we should be we should be getting ready so we could feel like we're it's like a normal day, because it is a normal day. And like that routine kind of, obviously being spontaneous, if something comes up, yeah, do it, but having kind of those set routines, like waking up at this time, getting ready, eating breakfast, um I don't know, doing something, then eating dinner, lunch, whatever, and then at the end of the night also taking off your makeup, getting ready for bed, and also remembering to do that and not being inside your room all day kind of thing. Because I feel like a lot of people, or maybe like teens, I feel like that's what they would probably do, or what I started to do, just staying in my room. I'm like, that's good. No, I'm going crazy. I need to go outside. Yeah.
You all mentioned like something that's important, so it's like definitely like reaching out to others. It's like taking the time to have do a phone call with a friend, and maybe say you'll call someone different. Maybe you'll call your grandparents, because it's like, again, you don't know if there'll be someone who might get affected by this. Like even just spending time, like no one wants to think that it's going to happen to them, but unfortunately, like it is happening to certain families where they are losing a family member. And it's like right now you might start like halfway through week 2, you might start to go crazy with like your siblings, you might start fighting. But realize this, it's like people who are having to take their family members to the hospital, they can't stay there with them. Like that person is there all alone, and then they don't come home, they can't even like be there with them like as they're passing away. Like they're dying alone with like all the other people who are in every day. It might be hard to think of 5 things, so like try it every day. Write 3 things that you're grateful for, and that will change your perspective on things for sure. On even having the sun right now, we've been having like lovely weather up until today. It was raining, but thank you Jesus, because it's like we know California needs the rain. So it's just like learning how to be grateful for each even the little things. And like Carmen said, getting ready. Like I know when I get ready, my energy is like on a whole different level. I feel better, as opposed to where if like I allow myself to like feel like a bum, then I do tend to be like more like likely to just be on my phone. Not that it's wrong to like be in your like your comfortable like PJs, because it's like I was too before I got on like a Zoom call. But it's like every now and then switch it up. Get ready. Like you don't have to. If you are working from home, you don't have to get ready, but you also can. There's the option of getting ready. And yeah, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family members, and for sure be practice your gratitude towards things, and try not to be angry. If you see, you could either focus on all the negative things, or you could try to see all the good that's going to come out from this, and even you might come out alive. So yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to say anything else before we closed up. No.
Make your beds, people. That's helped me a lot too. And like, because right now I am sitting on my bed, like when I do connect with people, it's like I at least know that if I am having a spontaneous call with somebody, or something pops up, I want to have a space where it's ready, where I'm not just like laying on my couch and like FaceTiming friends and stuff, like that also just helps with the connection thing too. So I don't know, pick your spot, whether it's a desk or outside or someplace that you really like, and just go out there. And then also I've been hearing people too that they really they really like it's good for them when they go on and like journal how they're feeling every day, because like this is like making history. Like we've never gone through something like this before, and so like they're gonna like people are gonna look back at times like this, or if something like this ever happens again too, like we will know like what we felt and how to like react to it and respond to it in the future. So definitely just like writing things down, and that is really helpful too. So, and sharing about it with people has been key. You know, like if you are feeling some type of way, reach out to friends, like we're mentioning, also your family, and there's always going to be people around that are feeling exactly the same way, you know, and like we're all in this together. We're all in like our own rooms and stuff, but like I really don't feel like I'm alone in my room right now. I feel like I'm with you guys. So it makes a difference, definitely.
Yeah, and if you can't find anything, like for sure, I know recently this whole weekend we've been doing a lot of like challenges on Instagram, and I love it. Like it's been like, oh, do 10 push-ups, see 10, do 10 kind of thing. And I mean, I couldn't do push-ups, but I did like an alternative. So it's just been fun joining in like on all these different challenges and like seeing the people that you tag like actually like also doing it. So it's like those doing those little things, it's fun because it's like you might not be doing a full workout, but if for those 5 minutes you got on there and you did like that thing and you joined in, then it brings joy. I'm like, oh my god, it's so fun! Like seeing everyone doing it. It's like those little things. Find the little joy in like amongst all these things. Because again, if you focus on the
Mm-hmm.
negative and if you don't talk about it, then you are gonna be stuck in this like whole negative thing, and you're just gonna get depressed. But for sure, I think it's okay to talk about, excuse me, it's okay to talk about how about your emotions, what you express. Find someone who you could express your feelings to, because if you don't, I know for me, like in the beginning I was just overwhelmed, but when I started talking about it more, then you're able to, you like, you release all those worries. And there's so many resources that are being offered right now. Like there's so many people giving so many free online resources. There's some like every day they're live streaming masses, or they're just exposing the Blessed Sacrament, or people, different churches are going live to pray the rosary. Like find something that's appealing to you, even if it's painting by numbers, like something, and like get it done. Like we're all gonna get through this. And most importantly, the phrase that came up to me was like, let it's I quote Mama K because she gave us to us that thing. It's like let go and let God. Like let go of all your fears, let go of all your stresses, and just let God take care of you. Like just this is the time when we need to like actually put our trust in God and let him take his like the situation his course. 'Cause, yeah, have faith.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of that exactly when you were starting to mention, um, you know, when you were whatever your prelude to what you just said. You said like Mama K said something. I immediately thought let go and let God. So it's no doubt that you know these things are getting pieced together how they are, and I mean we can't stop it from happening, but we can change how we react to what is going on and how we respond to things, and we can be people's beacon of hope and their light, because there's a lot of people out there who despite you know all the great different things and resources that are out there, they're still you know like in this pit of not knowing. You know there's uncertainty, there's all these negative things, but if you can post one thing a day, or if you can check in on one person a day, that'll make all the more difference, and it does add up, and God sees those things and he will give you grace for that. And so in this time, and you can also go to Drive Up Confessions. So there's lots and lots and lots of different resources, no matter you know what you're feeling. If you've had this time to contemplate and to talk with God, and you're really just feeling a burden, or just wanting to be even closer to him, maybe you're already close with him, but you know there's something holding you back from being like in one with him during this time, that there are different opportunities. And if you belong to our parish at Holy Rosary, they're doing that as well, and it's like all over Facebook, and there's so many, like Lupita said, so many different resources that are out there that there's even free like audiobooks and Audible and I mean, YouTube's obviously free, and there's great speakers on there that we can recommend to you guys to, if you wanted to reach out or put it in the comments, and I'm sure that they'll be looking at it too, and we can just let you guys know different more positive things that we can be watching in response to all of this, filling our minds with the good stuff instead of, if you're going to be on YouTube, spend it at least a little bit of time like being intentional instead of like watching what is it called, like cat videos or whatever people watch. But yeah, it's like how we spend our time. God wants us to enjoy our time, but like how we spend it and how we still connect during this Lenten season, which is so different from any other Lent that anybody's experienced. How we respond to it is definitely key too. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say something. But yeah, I think we'll just start to close it off because it's like we had already been chatting for like an hour before we started recording this podcast. So we could always keep on going chatting, but we know that things can get long. But yeah, we just wanted to hop on here to like, I don't know, express so that like, I know it sounds silly to say, but sometimes we do feel like even we might be like on our own, even though everyone's going through it, or we can start feeling like, oh, I'm not allowed to like feel this way because it's like there's people that are legit dying from this. But it's like we just wanted to come up here and share our experiences, share our positivity, how we're like trying to see the good things amongst all of this, and share some tips and that will hopefully help you guys out. Definitely check out Ascension Presents. They have amazing Catholic videos. They've been posting a lot of things of like how you can handle all of this like situation. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. It's good to be back. A lot of the things that God has been doing through this like whole self quarantine time is a lot of healing for myself. And let's just say that from here on, you can expect us to be back. I'm not sure if every week, but more often than we have been. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for all that's gonna keep on coming. More episodes, more recording, and I have faith that God is gonna get us through this very quick. And but before that, we know that it's gonna get a little bit rough, but we'll eventually come down through that hill. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Voices on Fire. My name is Maria.
And my name is Carmen. And
thank you for our two lovely guests.
Angelica and Alyssa.
Sorry, I muted myself when I forgot. But thank you guys for inviting us on, and we were just having our conversation, but it snowballed into what God wanted us to talk about. So
yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed and that you'll come back. Follow us on Instagram at Enkindled Voices, on Facebook at Enkindled Voices. We've been, even though we haven't been posting, we've been praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet on there in our novena. And yeah, just stay tuned. Have a good night, guys. God bless, and thank you for joining today. Bye.
Bye.